Welcome to today's deep dive. We're going deep into the mind of Naval Ravikant.
Oh, yeah.
Silicon Valley icon, known for his thoughts on building wealth and a fulfilling life.
Yeah. And how to have both.
We've got excerpts from a book collecting his wisdom over a decade.
A decade's worth of blog posts, tweets, talks.
You're basically getting a cheat sheet to this guy's brain, and trust me, he does not hold back.
Yeah, you won't find any of the usual, hustle harder stuff.
All right.
He's about principles, mental models
Mental model.
that lead to real success, not just, the money.
Okay, I'm already hooked.
Right.
But this is Naval Ravikant. We're talking about a legend. Where do we even begin?
Well, he wasn't always, dropping wisdom from Silicon Valley.
Right.
Picture this single-parent household, blue-collar upbringing. He called himself a latchkey kid.
So how does that kid become, the founder of companies like Opinions, AngelList, the guy investing in giants like Uber and Twitter?
Yeah, that's not just leveling up, that's beating the entire game. There's this moment he calls the intelligence lottery. Getting into Stuyvesant High School.
Stuyvesant?
It's like she teleported to a whole other world. Competitive academics.
Yeah.
Totally different possibilities.
Okay, but it's not just the school, right?
No.
Plenty of kids go to great schools and don't become naval.
Here's what's interesting. He says he had the core principles he lives by when he was 13 or 14.
Whoa.
Not something he figured out later. They were shaping him as a teenager.
All right, you got to spill the beans. What were these principles?
First, you got to understand how he defines wealth.
Okay.
Not piles of cash, but owning things that make money while you sleep.
So not the grind till you drop mentality,
Right.
more like set it and forget it.
Exactly. Figure out what society wants but doesn't know how to get,
Okay.
and then provide it at scale. Think iPhone.
iPhone. Okay.
Steve Jobs saw people wanted a powerful, user-friendly computer in their pocket.
Right.
Bam, billions of iPhones later.
Okay, but how do I find that thing? The unique thing I can offer.
That's where specific knowledge comes in.
Specific knowledge.
It's your superpower.
Yeah.
Your unique blend of talents, upbringing, passions.
You know what? This is kind of making sense. I feel like everyone's rushing to learn the same hot skill.
Yeah.
But you have this edge because of your unique background.
Naval says to think back to your childhood.
Okay.
What came naturally to you?
Oh, like when I was a kid, I used to...
Maybe you were a born salesperson? Or could
Well-
pick up any musical instrument.
Or obsessed with something.
Yeah, that obsessive personality that goes deep.
Hold on. So my childhood obsession with collecting bugs could actually be valuable.
It could be. The point is, specific knowledge can't be taught. It's learned through apprenticeships or just following your curiosity. And it's crucial
Okay.
because if society can easily train someone else to do it, you're replaceable.
So you're not just another cog in the machine.
No.
You're crafting your own niche.
Yeah.
But it also sounds kind of risky. What if you put yourself out there and flop?
This is where accountability comes in. Taking risks under your own name. Society rewards people who own their wins and their losses.
Yeah.
That's how you build credibility and leverage.
That takes guts. But in today's world, is the downside really that bad? We have bankruptcy. People bounce back from failures.
He's not saying be reckless. He's talking about putting your name on the line because you believe in it. He even shares stories of taking risks with his public image, talking about philosophy, investing in crypto, and people thought he was crazy.
So it's about building a reputation, showing you're not afraid to be wrong. But how do you actually turn that risk into something bigger? That's where leverage comes in, right?
Leverage is the force multiplier for your judgment. And he's not talking about the work till you burn out, kind of.
Right.
He's talking about owning equity in a business, starting it or investing in it, having your efforts multiplied beyond just your individual input.
So there's leverage in labor capital, and then there's this whole new kind he calls permissionless leverage, code and media. What's that all about?
He says code especially requires no permission and works for you even when you're sleeping. It's the engine behind a lot of new wealth, and anyone can learn it.
Okay. But you can't just throw code at a problem and expect it to solve everything. You still need good judgment, right?
Yes.
Judgment.
How does that fit in?
He defines judgment as wisdom applied to external problems,
Okay.
doing the long-term consequences of your actions.
Right.
And in a world where even small decisions get amplified by leverage, judgment becomes critical.
So how do you get good judgment? It's not like you can just download it.
First principles thinking.
First principles thinking.
It sounds complicated, but it's not. Basically, it's understanding the basics deeply, instead of just memorizing complicated concepts.
Okay, give me an example. I need something simple.
He uses the example of Richard Feynman, the famous physicist.
Okay.
explained all of mathematics in just 3 pages. Started with basic counting and built up to pre-calculus.
Wow, so it's about simplifying, breaking things down.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like that.
It's getting to the essence. And to do that, you need space to think, even to be bored. We're so bombarded with information these days, we rarely give ourselves time to actually think deeply.
So schedule empty space in your calendar
Yes.
for quiet reflection.
Now, that's a radical concept.
Right.
In our world of go, 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 it's almost counterintuitive to schedule doing nothing. But I see your point. You need that mental space. This is all great. But we've been talking a lot about wealth. Where does happiness fit in? Is it just a side effect of success?
This is where Naval's own journey gets interesting. For a long time, he admits he didn't even value happiness.
Really?
He was all about external achievements and rated his own happiness pretty low.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what changed? How did happiness become central to his life?
Life experience. He realized all the success in the world wouldn't matter if he was miserable inside. That's when he started exploring happiness as a skill. Something you cultivate. Just like fitness.
Wait, you're saying happiness isn't something you just stumble into? You have to work at it.
Exactly. He's adamant that happiness is a choice.
Yeah.
It's shifting your focus from chasing external achievements to cultivating a peaceful, content internal state. He even talks about how desire is suffering.
Desire is suffering?
Yeah, a core Buddhist idea.
Uh,
And learning to find joy in the present moment.
okay, that sounds like a huge mental shift.
It is.
But how do you actually do it? What are the specific things Naval did? Because I think we could all use a little more happiness in our lives.
Well, he's a big believer in the power of habits.
Yeah.
Even small changes like cutting out sugar,
Oh, yeah.
alcohol,
Yeah,
can massively impact your mood.
totally. Those things mess with your energy and emotions. It's like trying to think in a fog.
He's also big on being mindful of your environment, both the physical space
Right.
and the people you surround yourself with.
The people, yeah.
He talks about this thing called the 5 chimps theory.
5 chimps.
The idea that we basically become like the 5 people we spend the most time with.
So choose your friends wisely, huh?
It's about being intentional about who's in your inner circle.
Makes you think about those group projects back in school.
Oh, yeah. For Naval, this meant incorporating practices like meditation, cold showers,
Cold showers.
even learning from experts like Wim Hof.
Wim Hof the Iceman.
Yeah. Famous for his extreme cold exposure techniques.
Oh, seriously?
He found that cold showers, especially when combined with the Wim Hof breathing method,
Okay.
were incredibly effective for training his mind and body.
So it's about like overcoming discomfort.
Yeah.
Building resilience.
Like a mini challenge every morning. To step outside your comfort zone and start the day feeling like you've already conquered something.
I like that. It ties back to his idea of mental models, right?
Yes. He describes the brain as a memory prediction machine,
Okay.
always trying to anticipate what's going to happen next based on past experiences.
So our brains are constantly running simulations.
Exactly. And mental models, which you can find in philosophy, science, history. Give your brain better software, better frameworks for understanding the world and making smarter decisions.
The 5 chimps idea is interesting. But don't we also have some control over who we become? It can't just be about who we hang out with, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's not just tea about who you surround yourself with.
Right.
You have to take ownership of your own growth.
Okay.
Naval's a voracious reader, and he encourages others to cultivate a love of reading, even if you start with something considered lowbrow.
So no judgment on my love of cheesy sci-fi novels.
No judgment. As you learn more, you'll naturally gravitate toward books with deeper concepts and predictive power.
So it's not about speed reading every book on the bestseller list.
No.
It's about finding stuff that stretches your mind and helps you make better decisions.
Exactly. He also stresses the importance of teaching what you learn. That's when you really internalize the information.
Yeah, it's like that saying, if you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it. Plus, when you share your knowledge, you're helping others and solidifying your own understanding.
Sharing knowledge is a form of leverage in itself.
Right.
It's a way to multiply the impact of your learning. This is where his emphasis on first principles thinking comes in, filtering out the noise and getting to the core truths that drive success,
Okay.
both financially and personally.
I'm starting to see how all these pieces fit together. It's not just about making money, it's about a whole mindset.
A way of approaching life.
Yeah.
It's about building your own internal compass,
Yeah.
a set of guiding principles grounded in values that resonate with you.
So it's not just about what you do,
No.
but who you are, developing a strong sense of self.
He He's very open about his own values.
Mm-hmm.
Honesty, integrity, independence.
Okay.
He prioritizes peer relationships,
Mm-hmm.
valuing equality and mutual respect. He also talks about actively working to overcome negative emotions, like anger,
Anger.
recognizing that they harm yourself more than anyone else.
That takes self-awareness. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
recognizing that true freedom comes not from external circumstances, but from mastering yourself, controlling your own reactions.
He talks about seeking freedom from expectations, anger, needing external validation, finding peace and contentment within yourself, regardless of what's happening around you.
That sounds incredibly liberating.
It is.
But also really hard. How do you cultivate that kind of internal freedom?
It's not like there's a step-by-step guide.
Yeah.
His own journey involved a lot of self-reflection, reading philosophy, experimenting with practices like meditation and mindfulness.
So it's not a quick fix.
No.
It's an ongoing process.
Yes, being intentional about your inner world, not just your outer achievements. He also emphasizes taking responsibility for your own well-being.
Right.
Physical, mental, emotional.
Mhm.
He has this great line, doctors won't make you health and nutritionists won't make you slim, and gurus won't make you calm. Ultimately, you have to save yourself.
That's powerful, both empowering and daunting. With all this self-improvement stuff, it's easy to get overwhelmed. Where do you even begin?
He suggests starting small, focus on building one good habit at a time. He's a fan of the minimum effective dose.
Minimum effective dose.
Finding the smallest change that produces a noticeable result.
So not trying to overhaul your whole life overnight. Gradual, sustainable changes.
Exactly. And he's a big believer in embracing failure as part of the process.
Failure.
He says it's better to have tried and failed than never to have tried at all.
It's like that fast fail often mentality, but applied to personal growth. Failure isn't the end,
It's feedback.
right? His whole approach to life is both inspiring and challenging. It's a reminder that we have way more control over our destiny than we realize.
It's about taking ownership of your life,
Yeah.
your choices, your happiness, your growth.
Yeah.
So like he's giving us a blueprint. And then it's up to us to take those principles and build something amazing, recognizing your own potential, and then, making a conscious choice to cultivate it.
It's like he's giving us this incredible toolbox.
Yeah.
But the real magic is when we take those tools and build something unique,
Yeah.
something that works for our own lives.
And that's the beauty of it. It's not a one-size-fits-all formula. It's frameworks and principles that give you the power to create your own path.
So what does all this mean for you, the listener? What's the one big takeaway, the nugget of wisdom you can use right now?
If I had to sum up Naval's wisdom in one sentence,
Okay.
it would be this. Seek wisdom, build specific knowledge, leverage your efforts, and cultivate happiness from within.
Okay, that's a lot to unpack.
Yeah.
But I get it. It's a reminder that real success, the kind that lasts, isn't about luck or following the crowd. It's about taking action, constantly learning, and building a mindset that empowers you to create the life you want.
And remember, the journey is just as important as the destination. Embrace the challenges, the setbacks, even the failures.
Right.
Those are your opportunities to learn and grow.
It's about enjoying the process, the constant evolution, the never-ending quest to learn and become a better version of yourself.
Naval has this great quote. He says, "The most successful people I know started out as losers."
Embrace your inner loser, those quirks and unconventional passions that make you you. They might just be your secret weapons.
And never stop learning, never stop exploring, never stop pushing yourself to grow. There's a whole world of possibilities out there for those who are willing to seek them out.
That is a fantastic note to end on. For those of you who want to dive deeper into Naval's world, we've got links to some of his recommended books and talks in the show notes. Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and remember, the greatest superpower is the ability to change yourself.